it's while we're driving, while on TV, on these videos. It is not real.
So would you say that social media has too strong of an influence?
It's not that it's just social media though. It's marketers. They're marketing. They're making us feel that there's something wrong with us so they can sell us a product. So it is not just the social media, right? It's a lot of the things. Walk in the aisle at any store, any mall, makeup, bleachers, skin bleachers, hair products. For instance, hair. Long hair is beautiful. If you don't have long hair, then you're not as beautiful. If you're not thin, you're not as beautiful. It's all in the market. So they can sell diet pills, so they can sell you body wraps,
right?
So they can sell you all these waist trainers.
Now, recently there was a quote unquote curvy model that graced the cover of, I believe, Sports Illustrated.
16. I think she was a size 16 or something. Like
now, I've been seeing that girls have been going on diets to get thicker. So, how do you feel about that? Like, in one case, they say something. It's like, okay, you have to be thin, you have to be pretty, and now they put this up, and it's like, okay, now I have to get thicker. I have to have more curves. Why are we as a society so into this thing? Why do we feed into it so much? Why are we so quick to go left?
Because we're constantly bombarded with that, right? It's like I said, we're constantly being bombarded. So now, sure, but the thing is, you still have to remember that curvy model is only one out of how many, right? We see Nicki Minaj. She's always very, thin waist, big hips, real big butt. She's beautiful. And I can never take away from her beauty.
Right.
But it's like, it's this marketing thing so we can look a certain way. So we can stay home and feel horrible about ourselves. And, yeah, of course, some people are going to buy into it. Not because they're weak-minded, none of that. We all do it. All women do it. We all feel insecure about, like, the littlest things. But, I actually was listening to a really powerful video today. It's like, feeling fat is not a feeling. It's a thing in our head. You don't feel fat.
You think it.
Yeah, we've been getting fed that. Like, you're fat. Like, I thought I'm fat. And I'm 120 pounds. I'm 4'11". That's where I should be. Body fat is 24 point whatever. But I still sometimes feel like I'm fat. Right? But it's also that thing, like, that self-love that I'm always like, no, Liz, you're fine. You don't need to please anyone.
Right.
Because even though it's a social construction, of these fairy tales of love and blah, 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 the truth is, if someone really loves you, they're going to love you for who you are.
Exactly. Now, I'm glad you actually brought the subject of love up, because I follow you on social media, and I see you post, different things about relationships, and you're currently single, right?
Yeah.
Now, how would it be, how difficult would it be for a guy to date you? Because, guys now, we're like, we say the wrong things, we want the wrong things, we see so many things on social media. It seems like it has to be the right guy to date you. Like, are you picky? Are you tough on guys? You know what you're looking for?
I do want to
just like being single?
Look, I love being single. I enjoy it. I don't need anyone. If anything, I want someone, but I don't need anyone.
Now, of course you would say that as a feminist.
Well, no, I think that a lot of women don't need men. I think people don't need, we want. Because if I need you, that means that everything can fall at any time. If I want you, I'm solid. I'm forever solid, right? And I think that a lot of people, and it's really funny that you bring that up, because very often I get misinterpreted. People have the wrong assumptions about me.
Has anyone ever thought you were a lesbian?
Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I am queer. I like men, women, trans, anyone, however they identify.
Right.
My sexuality is fluid. I will date whoever I like. As simple as that. I haven't dated anyone lately. I have been talking to a few different men and women. But one of the main things for me to actually go forward to that step has a lot a lot to do with their consciousness. I do not want to date anyone who thinks that I should cook for them, that I have to cook for them. And don't get me wrong.
So fellas out there, if you listen to this and you watching this, just know she doesn't want you to think she has to cook for you.
Exactly, but will I cook for you? Yes. It's if I want to, right? It's if you want to. Of course, with who you are with, you should never have to do anything. Mm-hmm. You should want to do it, right? And I will cook. I cook all the time. I cook for my sister.
Are you a good cook?
I'm okay.
You okay?
I'm okay. I don't. You know, it's really funny because growing up, I used to hate being told that I needed to know how to cook to be able to please my man. My mom, you know.
So this thing, it started young for you.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I'm not into it.
Yeah, but it comes from oppression. Like, a lot of us have been oppressed growing up to think that the only place that we belong in is in the kitchen, cleaning, laundry, whatever. And no, we have more potential than that, right? But we shouldn't have to prove it to anyone that we don't belong there. Automatically, if a guy thinks that I should do that, why am I going to waste my time?
Right.
I don't care how attractive. I don't care how much money. I don't care how educated you are. If that is your thoughts about women, why am I going to waste my time? You know, like I said, growing up, my mom would always tell me, you should learn how to cook. You should learn how to iron. Blah blah blah. Like, what good are you going to be for your husband if you don't know how to do that? So automatically, I was like, no, I'm never going to be that person, right? But now that I'm older, I want to learn how to cook, for myself. Because
cooking is a fun thing too.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be something that you just do for your partner, whoever you're dating, but it's fun. It's an art form to it. You're creating something, and hopefully it tastes good.
Definitely, yes. But yeah, like I said, growing up, that was my mentality. Now, I mean, of course, like I said, it's one of those things that it really bugs me when people say like, is she going to make me a sandwich? But like, it's like, oh, shut up! Like, that's so annoying, you know. Like I said, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it. You know.
Now, what a lot of people want to know, and I want to know too, why Liz don't trip?
You know, I knew you were gonna ask me that. It's really funny. So it's actually totally different than what anyone thinks. Automatically, people think like Liz doesn't trip. No, I hella trip. You know, I'm there, but that came from a few years ago. I think to this day I'm always paranoid, like what people can do with your name or what people, you know. I think now it's more like anyone has access to you.
Oh yeah.
It's as simple as that. But when I first started my Facebook, I was like, well, people shouldn't know my last name. Like, they should not be tripping who I am or what my last name is. So I was like, when people ask me what's your last name, I'm like, don't trip.
And it just kind of stuck?
Yeah, like,
because that's what, when I first, knew of you or came across on you, I would tell people, like, yo, this chick Liz don't trip. And it just became like a name, like almost like a rap name or something. Like,
technically,
Liz don't trip.
Always. Anywhere I go, they're like, Liz don't trip. I'd be like, yeah, what's up? You know?
Yeah.
All the time. Even like people I've organized with, of course, they're my friends on social media. So they're like, oh, they call me like La Liz don't trip. That means the Liz don't trip, you know? And I'm like, oh, hey, they're like, so it's really funny. But yes, people, I think that's like my signature, Like,
yeah, it's dope. You gotta stick with it. You can't change it.
Yeah, and I've always been like, dang, like, geez, like, I have a friend, one of my really, really good friends.
You should, like, trademark it.
Right? Yes, I want to. Somebody actually tried to copy that, and I was like, oh my gosh, she just put an O in the don't. I was like, girl. Right? No, I have a friend, he has a tie, which, shout out to Tony. And so it's really funny because he has a tie that says his whole Instagram name.
Wow.
It's really funny.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
that's good marketing, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And he does photography and he does a lot of stuff. It just always, like, I remember it. But he's always been like that. He likes to trademark his name, so.
Wow, nice. That's what you gotta do because Liz on Trip is super dope.
Yeah. I'm like, what can I do with it? I'm like, maybe a shirt, but maybe, like, a don't trip. So, by the way, nobody take my idea.
Much so. You can make some money off of that. Team up.
Definitely.
Heck yeah. Now, before we get up out of here, now, what message would you like to give to, like, the Black and the Hispanic community or the kids or young women or even grown women? What message would you like to give to them?
Join the fight. And by fight, I don't mean violence, right? I mean, like, unity, support, solidarity. Join us. Let me join you, right? This is something that's really important for everyone to understand, that we are here for each other, that we need to stop any sort of violence against each other, any sort of doubt, any sort of untrustfulness. We need to come together. The only way we can create change is by sticking together. It's happened in different movements. We have to take a look at it, look back in history. And when people say history repeats itself, it literally does. You know, we can look back to the civil rights movement, to the Chicano movement, to the farm workers movement, to a lot of things. Without unity, there's nothing. For instance, just look back to the farm workers' struggles, right? If the Filipino and the Mexican workers were not came together, they would not have been as strong as they were. They would not have made the change that they made without that unity. Look at the civil rights movement. We needed everyone to come together. Without that unity within our own community, within the own African American community at that time, the strength would have not been there. The Chicano movement, also unity, men, women, everyone around us. We need that unity. And if we want to create change here in Las Vegas, we need to come together. And we need to leave a lot of things aside. Our prides. You know, like I said, I'm a major communications, major in communication, and one of those things is like when we work with groups is that although we think that we don't have any similarities or any, how can I say it? Let's just stick to similarities. If we don't think we have any, let's think again. We have so many, right? We can name off names and realize like it's not just happening here, it's happening everywhere. Look at incarceration rates. Black and brown are the highest, right? Of course, starting with the Black community. They are the highest, right? And one of the things that I always remember is some numbers, some statistics they gave me from Wisconsin a few years ago, which is something that I probably want to end it with. In Wisconsin, it was 16% of Black folks, right, as their population. Their prison was 40%.
Wow.
That's ridiculous, right? How is it that it's 16, but your prison count is 40?
Wow.
That's double. That's almost triple, right?
Wow.
That's 2.5 times than your current population. So let's really think about that, right? Pelican Bay out in California, you know, they're always standing in solidarity with each other. Of course, you know, prison is one of those things that is really hard to touch upon. But like I said, if you are listening, please, please, please come out and support. We're going to have an event pretty soon to bring our communities together. Please be part of it.
Where can they find you on social media?
I was actually going to say that. So Instagram at Liz Don't Trip, LS and Lima. I don't know if I should spell it out, but LIZ as in zebra, DNTTRIP. You can find me there. Facebook, Liz Don't Trip as well.
It's easy.
Twitter,
it's easy to find
Liz Don't
Liz.
Trip. Anywhere. I mean, I'm sure if they see it on YouTube, they can definitely find me there. You'll probably share my links.
Oh yeah, I'll share everything.
Please come out. It's so important. I cannot emphasize how important it is for all of us to come together. And I hope to even see you there as well.
I'll definitely be there. And I'm going to bring some people with me who I think who need to be there as well. To kind of see, you know, more of a movement. Liz, I appreciate you coming. It's been a pleasure speaking with you and actually meeting you for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, Siril Beil Show, live inside the Black Box. Liz Don't Trip. Thank you.
Thank you.